Announced at this year's IFA, I finally had a chance to try out the new Govee permanent outdoor lights Prism. I installed 200 feet of these on our local community centre and the results are absolutely stunning. Available now in lengths of 100, 150 or 200 feet at $540, $700 and $860 recommended retail price respectively. They definitely fall in at the premium end of the market, though you will find frequent deals around Prime Day and other seasonal events, including at the time of recording, with the 200-foot set as reviewed available for as little as $680. I'm James Bruce, you're watching matteralpha.com, and I've got so many flashy lights around my house that I've run out of wall space and had to start installing them elsewhere. So let's talk about the Prism lighting effect. The main selling point of the new Prism lights is a unique 3-in-1 lamp design, with each module housing 3 separate LED outputs. These are angled in such a way as to produce a wider beam than the previous permanent outdoor lights when the LED output is combined, or they can be used individually for a more unique and dynamic lighting effect. Each section of the module can be controlled independently with its own brightness and color. Not all of the included scenes in the app take advantage of this, but those that do offer more vibrant and dynamic chaser scenes. The carnival and party scenes, for instance, look like a sort of scanning head club lighting. Other scenes are simply replicas of those we've seen before, but with a larger lighting cone. There's a lot of creative potential, though. Just like the previous models, it has a distinctive lighting profile and doesn't simply paint the entire wall. You'll want the outdoor floodlights too if you prefer a larger wash of light all across the wall. The outdoor lights Prism are also the first to incorporate the new Lumen Blend technology. With a custom 16-bit LED driver chip and tunable white LEDs, Lumen Blend gives you the most accurate colors yet and really smooth transitions. In terms of hardware, the Prism modules are significantly larger than other permanent outdoor light modules, and I want to note they're spaced further apart too, with about 1 meter or 3 foot in between each module. It's not noticeable when they're lit up due to the wider beam, but it feels quite sparse when you're putting them up. They arrive in strings of 15 foot, each with 6 light modules, though you'll also find extension leads and splicing plugs and sockets in the package, so you can fit virtually any roofline. I believe this is usually reserved for the Pro modules. The standard sets only have sort of extension leads, but in this case we've got both. A large sticky pad is pre-applied, but you'll want to scrub the surface you're attaching it to with isopropyl alcohol to remove any grease before affixing the module. A handful of spare pads are included if you need to redo it. Either side of the module is a screw hole too, though in my experience not entirely necessary and not always possible to use those. Of course, if you can screw it in, you probably should, but since I was attaching this to a piece of gutter, making holes wasn't really an option. Ideally, the modules should be mounted about 4 to 6 inches away from the wall, but as long as you're consistent, you'll get a pretty pleasing effect. So are these replacing the existing permanent outdoor lights? No. The Prism are a new addition to the permanent outdoor lights selection, but not replacing other modules. You can still buy the permanent outdoor lights 2 and Pro models if you prefer the look. It's a very distinct difference, so you won't want to mix and match these either. The module density is significantly lower than the previous Outdoor Lights Pro, with only 72 light modules on the 200-foot string versus 120 on the Pro. Again, remember I said they're spaced further apart, though you might also argue that technically each light on the Prism is actually 3 compared to the 1 on the Lights Pro. But each lighting module, that's the set of 3, is 40 lumens versus 50 for the single module on the Pro. So if you're after the maximum brightness output possible, again, the permanent outdoor lights Pro are perhaps the better option. These are the same brightness as the non-Pro model, and I wonder if we'll see a permanent outdoor lights Pro Prism model too at some point, which bumps the brightness up further, maybe. Should you buy the permanent outdoor lights Prism? They're currently priced at around $100 premium over the equivalent length of Outdoor Lights Pro. That's partially because it's a new product, of course, but also because they're more complex. If you already have the previous generation and those are running fine for you, $600 to $900 is a huge chunk of change for a small visual upgrade. I wouldn't recommend replacing your existing set until they're broken, nor should you mix and match, say, the upper and lower floors of your home. Unfortunately, they are spaced further apart, like I mentioned, so even if you didn't mind the wider cone, the spacing would just look weird. If you haven't yet decorated your home with some permanent outdoor lights, these are a brilliant and unique entry in the series. There are plenty of generic clones out there, but these particular ones will be unique for a while yet. They're a lot harder to copy. Do hit like and consider subscribing if this video proved helpful and showed off some of what these insanely cool lights are capable of. Thanks to Govee for sending these for review, and thanks to you for watching. Until next time, be sure to check out our full site over at matteralpha.com, where we have reviews, tutorials, explainers, and more about the Matter protocol, as well as a full database of Matter compatible products and all the latest news.